your Personal Power Boost with Dr. Verna, a global force for transformation, unlocking human potential one leader at a time. Are you looking for a boost to help you reclaim your personal power? Then this is your weekly source, where we dive into conversations about navigating your professional and life journey. So, take a deep breath, open up your heart, and get ready to ignite your leadership and fuel your spirit. Let's go. Welcome back to Dr. Verna's Personal Power Boost for the week. Hope you're ready because this conversation that we're going to have could very well change your life, literally, very well change your life. And I'm hoping it will. I'm hoping that it'll give you what you need to get to your next level, because this is what this work is really all about. So when I think about, why do I do what I do? I do what I do because I've been called to help you become your most excellent self. That's all. And your most excellent self, whether that's at home or at work, it's your most excellent self. And I can assure you, whatever it is that you learn in my podcast, it can be applied to both your personal life and also your professional life. And sometimes, it's hard to really separate those, particularly like people like me, who you own your own businesses, you do your own work. So those kind of come together sometimes, personal and professional. But I want you to be excellent in both places in your life. So today we're going to talk about kind of moving your way through understanding your pros and your cons, and then understanding the why. The why is everything. It really is everything. And when you know the why, and when your why is strong enough to support your change, you're going to change. So let's go ahead and start with our affirmation. This is my life and I get to change it when I want to, how I want to, if I want to, because it was given to me. That's why. That's why I can change it. And what does that do? It makes me very valuable, very important, very lovable, and extremely powerful. And you have enough power in your life to change your life for better, to change your life for good, and to change your life forever. Literally, you have that power. So when you took a look at your pros and your cons, now we get to take a look at the why did you write those things down? Why do you have those cons in your life? Why do they exist? Now, here's the thing about change. Nothing changes in your life until you start to ask the critical questions. It's the questions that leads to the change. So when you start asking yourself the question, so I wonder why I chose that thing. Why don't I like that? Why don't I like that situation? Why don't I like that particular thing in my life? Why don't I like that particular situation in my life? Why don't I like? So asking the question why is where your change is going to come. Now, once you ask yourself that question, why, then you have to be ready. And what do you have to be ready for? You've got to be ready to realistically look at the honest truth about why that thing is not working in your life. I'll give you an example. You've been trying to get a promotion for a long time on your job. It's not happening. You don't like that. That's a con in your life. That's a con in your workplace, right? So the question is, why aren't you getting a promotion? And have you asked yourself that question? Is it your team? Is it you? Is there something you're doing or not doing? Is it the economy? Is it politics? Office politics? Like, why isn't that thing happening in your life? And what you have to do is get really honest and take a look at it. Now, there are some things that are happening in all of our lives that are external. Those are external. We cannot control them. You cannot control whether or not your company is selling off parts of the company and they're going to lay people off. You cannot control that. That's beyond your control. What you can control is your attitude toward that. What you can control is your behavior toward that. What you can control is your reaction toward that. Okay? So then what you get to do now is, as you take a look at these cons, you have to ask yourself the question, why is this here? After you ask yourself that question, be ready to do something about it. It's not enough to ask yourself the question, why? You've got to find the answer. And that answer, I can tell you, lies within you. You know the answer. You know why your relationships aren't working. You know why your family is going through difficult situations. You know why you are financially strapped. You know why. So when you get honest enough with yourself and your situation in your life to answer the question, why? And it's interesting to me because we talk a lot about the what in our society. What happened? What happened to me? What's going on? What? But the real treasure and the real wisdom and the change is going to come in your why. When you ask yourself the question, why is this happening? Why am I allowing it? Long, long time ago, someone said to me, and I heard this. Someone said, "Do not complain about what you permit. Stop complaining about what you permit." What were they really saying? If that situation is something that you don't like in your life, it's time to change it. And if you're not going to change it, stop talking about it. Stop complaining about it. Because the truth of the matter is that the only way that it will change is if you change it. So, this conversation, this why conversation, is the conversation that's going to get you to your next level. And when people have a strong internal motivation of why, a strong one, in other words, there's something about this situation that when it changes, it's going to impact you so significantly that things are going to change in your life. What will change? How you think will change. How you see things, your visioning will change. How you speak will change. Your attitude will change when you internalize the why. And when you get honest with yourself about the why, things are going to begin to change. There's no other way to get to your next level but to take a look. Now here's your homework. Go be your own researcher. Go through everything you don't like about your life, all the cons, and ask yourself the question, two questions. What is really going on here? What is this really about? Get a better understanding of it. And secondly, why is it still here? Why is it in my life? Now, the third question, which we won't get to today, but I want you to start thinking about this stuff because it takes time. Those things you don't like about your life, they've probably been there for a long time. So they're not going to change in a day, in a minute, in a second, but what will change is your approach to them, your owning of them, and your willingness to realistically and honestly look at the why that situation exists. And you're going to stop complaining about it and start doing something about it so that you can create the change you want to see in your life. This is what this is really all about. You want a better life? You really do? You want a better life? You can still make more money and still have this stuff in your life and not like your life. You can have a new relationship and still have this stuff in your life and not like your life. You could get a new college degree and still have this junk in your life and not like your life. Why? Because you haven't done the work. So, time to do the work. Take a look at your things that you don't like in your life. Ask yourself the question, what's going on and why is this thing happening? Then, and only then, will that process of change begin. All right? So, hard work, but please do it. And I'll keep working with you on it, and we'll just work ourselves through it so that you can get to that next level where you become your most excellent self. All right. If you haven't subscribed to this podcast, subscribe. And please tell 5 of your friends to do the same, right? Give me a high five and go to my website. By the way, and for those of you who have not gotten your Change Your Life book, which is right behind me, and or any of my books, please get the literature. Read it. Grow. Get to your next level and get there faster too. Because you know what? Life is short and you might as well have an excellent life right now. Why waste time? All right, let's go ahead and finish up with our affirmation. This is my life, and I get to change it when I want to, how I want to, if I want to, because it was given to me. And that makes me very valuable, very important, very lovable, and extremely powerful. You can do it. I'll see you next time. Bye. If today's episode spoke to you, and you know it's time for a shift in how you lead, how your team connects, or how your culture performs, I want to personally invite you to take the next step. Book a free consultation at drvernaprice.com/workwithme and explore your next keynote, your leadership workshop, or executive coaching. It's time to get your power back, and it is time to get to your next level.